Welcome back, students. In this video we are going to talk about the vapor pressure of the liquid solution. So first of all we need to understand this term. What is vapor pressure? First of all, what is a vapor? Clear? So if you take any liquid, for example water, in a vessel, and if you close that vessel, see, this liquid will evaporate and forms the vapor. Clear? So this up to this is an liquid phase. Clear? So this liquid will evaporate as time changes, and there will be the formation of vapor phase here. So vapor pressure is the pressure exerted by the vapor above this liquid phase when they are in equilibrium at particular temperature. We call it as vapor pressure. Clear? So they will be in equilibrium. Both the vapor phase and the liquid phase will be in equilibrium. So this is vapor pressure. Now let us look at the vapor pressures of the liquid solutions. Clear? So it is governed by a very famous law by Raoult's. It is Raoult's law of vapor pressure. Clear? So according to this law states that the partial vapor pressure of the component in the solution is directly proportional to the mole fraction. Yeah. So according to Raoult's law of vapor pressure, the partial vapor pressure of the component in the solution is directly proportional to the mole fraction. We know that partial vapor pressure is denoted by P, and it is directly proportional to the mole fraction. Here P is directly proportional to the mole fraction. Now let us see. Let us have two components. One is component 1 and one more is component 2. One is considered as solvent. For example, we have taken component 1 as solvent and component 2 as the solute. Clear? So we have a liquid here. So it is closed. So in the same case, in another component, we have a liquid and it is also closed. So as the liquid is closed in the vessel, there will be an vapor pressure. Here there will be an vapor phase created. So there will be an respective vapor pressure for both the components 1 and 2. So in this case, the vapor pressure of the component 1 will denote it as P1 naught. Here this is not combined step. They are in their original form. Here, so we are mentioning it as P1 naught. Whereas in this case, the partial vapor pressure in the pure form is P2 naught. This we have taken as solvent and this we have taken as solute. Here. So now on combination of these two, now this is a solution. So this we call it as P1. That means the vapor pressure is P1 in this case, P1 or P2. This is P1 here. So in this case we have a solution here. Solution, that means it is the combination of solvent 1 and the solute 2. Clear? So we can get the mole fractions of x1 and x2 also in this case, because this is the solution. So according to Raoult's law, the thing is, you need to understand, P1 naught is the vapor pressure of the solvent in its pure form. That means before getting combined, and P2 naught is the vapor pressure of the solute before getting combined. Clear? Whereas P1 and P2 are the partial vapor pressure in the solution. Clear? So this is the standard formula for the Raoult's law. It says that the partial vapor pressure of the component in the solution is directly proportional to its mole fraction. That means P1 is directly proportional to x1. So in order to remove this proportionality symbol, we are adding a constant P1 is P1 naught into X1. Clear? Where P1 naught is what? It is the partial vapor pressure of the component 1 in its pure form. Clear? So if you go for P2 in the same case, it is P2 naught into X2. So on combination of these two, on combination, so don't get confused guys, P1 is for the vapor pressure of the component 1 and P2 is for the partial vapor pressure of the component 2. So in order to get the total vapor pressure, it is P1 plus P2. Clear? So whereas P1 is P1 naught into X1 sorry, plus P2 naught into X2. So this is the mathematical expression of our slides. Means that the total vapor pressure of the solution equals P1 naught X1 plus P2 naught X2. In this case, P2 is the total vapor pressure. P1 naught is the vapor pressure of component 1. Component 1, X1 is the mole fraction of component 1. P2 naught is the vapor pressure of component 2 and X2 is the mole fraction of component 2. P1 is partial vapor pressure of component 1. P2 is the partial vapor pressure of component 2. Clear? You need to observe this. P1 naught we have taken as only vapor pressure, P2 naught also only vapor pressure, whereas P1 and P2 we have taken as partial vapor pressure. It is because P1 naught and P2 naught are the vapor pressures before making a solution. That means in their original state, that means it is the solvent and solute, whereas P1 and P2 they are the partial vapor pressure because it is in the combined form, it is in the solution form. Here, don't get confused this one. So this is the one of the important law from the point of view of board examination. You need to know the statement and the mathematical, simple mathematical expression of Raoult's law. Yes, students, the next topic we are going to discuss is regarding ideal and non-ideal solutions. Here, don't get confused, these are not ideal and non-ideal gases, that is completely a different topic. These are ideal and non-ideal solutions. Don't confuse between ideal and non-ideal gases and solutions. Clear? So, ideal solutions, we have discussed regarding Raoult's law now. P1 is directly proportional to its mole fraction. Clear? So, what are ideal solutions? Ideal solutions. These are the solutions which obeys Raoult's law. Raoult's law at all concentrations. Yeah. So this term at all concentration is very important because ideal solutions are the solutions which obeys Raoult's law at all concentration. We do not whether the solution may be dilute or concentrated, but it should obey Raoult's law. So those type of solutions we call it as ideal solution. To be practical, these type of solutions are very rare, very rare. We can get the near ideal solution, but we cannot exactly get the ideal solutions. See, only the concentration is not only such a big important fact like this. So now let us focus on the properties of ideal solution. So the first property of ideal solution is delta V of mixing should be 0. It means that the volume should not change on mixing. Clear? So when you mix any two solutions or a solute in a solvent, its volume should not change. These type of solutions we call it as ideal solution. This is the first important property. And give it the next one. The enthalpy of mixing also should be 0. The enthalpy or heat these are two critical properties of an ideal solution. That means delta V mix, that means the volume should not change on mixing and also the enthalpy should not change on mixing. This and the fourth one is, you have to understand the fourth concept. You need to know clearly regarding solutions. Here we have two components here as we have taken in Raoult's law. One is solute and one is solvent. Here we have a component A here as a solvent, and let me write it bigger. It will be very easy for you. Yeah. See, we have two components. One is A and one is B. We have taken A as solvent. That means we are taking A excess quantity, and we are considering B as solute. That means we are considering B in smaller quantities. So you need to understand that A, it is a component. There will be a force of attraction between the internal components. That means there will be a force of attraction between A and A. It is very clear. Force of attraction will be there. Clear? Between A and A. And in this case, the force of attraction will also be there between B and B. Here this is in case of pure solvent and pure solute. So when you mix up these two, that means when the solute is added to the solvent, it forms a solution. That is, the solution will be AB. Clear? So in this case, there will be a force of attraction between A and B if it is in the solution. Yeah. So the force of attraction will be between the components A and B because here the solute is dissolved in the solvent. Yeah. So the property, one more important property of ideal solution is the force of attraction. The force of attraction between A, that means solute and solute, solvent, you can take anything, no problem, and BB, it is solute, should be equal to the force of attraction between AB components. That means solute and solvent component. Clear? It is very critical. We focus on this one. So the force of attraction between AA, that means the force of attraction between the components of solvent, Angle of the force of attraction between the components of the solute should be equal to the force of attraction between the components of A and B. That means solute and the solvent. This is the fourth idealistic property of ideal solutions. So these are the four important characteristics. That means it has to obey Raoult's law in all concentrations. This is very critical term. And delta V mixing should be 0, delta H mixing should be 0, and the force of solute and solvent should be equal to the force of attraction between A and B, that means solute and solvent. So these are four ideal characteristics of ideal solution. So if you focus on the non-ideal solutions, these are the vice versa of ideal solutions. If you focus on non-ideal solutions, sorry, this is the heading, so it is non-ideal solution. So whereas ideal solution was obeying Raoult's law, but whereas non-ideal solution which do not obey Raoult's law at all concentration. So in this case, in second one, delta V mixing should be 0 in case of Raoult's law, in case of ideal solution, but in case of non-ideal solution, it should not be 0. That means the volume should change on mixing. I am writing the same concept because not make your understanding easy. And the third point is delta H mixing is 0 in case of ideal solutions, whereas in case of non-ideal solution it should not be 0. That means delta H enthalpy should increase or decrease in case of mixing. Clear? So should not be changed. Should change on here. So last one, the force of attraction between A solvent and the solute and B solute and solute should be equal to the force of attraction between A solute and solvent in case of ideal solution, whereas in case of non-ideal solution it should be lesser or higher. It should be lesser or higher. Yeah, lesser or higher the force of attraction between A and B, that means solute and the solvent. These are the important characteristics. Now let us look at the examples, and we have two types of non-ideal solutions here. So in non-ideal solution, I have said that we have two types of non-ideal solution. One is non-ideal solution which shows positive deviation from Raoult's law, and the second one is the non-ideal ideal solutions which shows the negative deviation from Raoult's law. That means the vapor pressure, we are dealing with the concept of vapor pressure. So the vapor pressure which we have created from the Raoult's law, if the solution shows the more positive deviation from the calculated vapor pressure from the Raoult's law, then we call those non-ideal solutions as the non-ideal solutions which shows positive deviation from Raoult's law. But in case of negative deviation, we have some calculated Raoult's law vapor pressure values. So the calculated values, the obtained value will be lesser than that of the calculated value. In that case, we have the second chances. Clear? So the examples are for positive deviation solutions. It is ethanol and acetone, carbon disulfide, CS2. It is CS2 carbon disulfide acetone. So it means that the vapor pressure which is created by the mixing of these two solutions will be lesser than the vapor pressure which is calculated from Raoult's law. It is higher than that of the vapor pressure value which is created from the Raoult's law. But in this case, we have phenol and aniline and a mixture of chloroform and acetone. That means the vapor pressure which is obtained by the mixture of phenol and aniline will be lesser than the vapor pressure which is calculated from the Raoult's law. Here, this is the concept of non-ideal solution, and it's two types. Then, if we focus on the graph, here, what we have in the dotted lines, in the x-axis initially we have taken mole fraction, and the y-axis we have taken the vapor pressure of the solution. Clear? It's not a separate component of the solution. One is mole fraction versus vapor pressure. See, if you observe these dotted lines, clear? That is the graph of the ideal solution. Clear? So whereas the obtained values of the non-ideal solution shows positive deviation from the ideal solution, from the round star. Clear? That means if you look at the graph, we get a clear idea that this is the ideal solution value and the values of the non-ideal solution with the positive deviations are more than that of the ideal solution. But in the same case, we just focus on this graph with the negative deviation. The values are less when we compare to the values of the non-ideal solution. Here, see these dotted lines are the plots for the ideal solution. So in this case, this is PD is the total vapor pressure, PA and PB are this is PA and this is PB. PA is the vapor pressure of the component A and PB is the vapor pressure of the component B, and XA and XB is all the known things, the mole fractions of A and B. Clear? This is regarding non-ideal solution. Non-ideal solution basically they do not obey Raoult's law, and we have two types in that of non-ideal solutions, and we have a graphical representation of these two. Now let us see the differences between these two: positive deviation, negative deviation, non-ideal solutions. Yes, students, coming to the differences between two types of non-ideal solutions. We have, in case of non-ideal solution with positive deviation, delta V mixing should be positive. That means the volume should increase on mixing. Volume should increase on mixing. Clear? Whereas in case of the negative deviation, it is delta V mixing is negative. That means the volume should decrease on mixing. Should decrease on mixing. And the second difference is enthalpy of mixing should be positive. Here in this case, enthalpy is positive means it is the heat is absorbed. Here heat is absorbed in case delta H is positive. Whereas in case delta H is negative, heat is liberated. Clear? If it is delta H is positive, that means in case of this solution, the heat is absorbed. Heat is absorbed. So it is positive, whereas it is negative. That means heat is liberated out. Heat is liberated out. That is the second difference. And coming to the third one, the vapor pressure is higher than the calculated vapor pressure from Raoult's law. We have seen this in also in the graph in our previous slide. And then here in case of that, the vapor pressure is lower than that is calculated from Raoult's law. That is the third difference. And the fourth one is coming to the force of attraction between solute, solvent, and that of the solute solvent. The force of attraction between A and B, that means the solute and the solvent, we have taken A as solvent and B as solute. So it should be lesser than the force of attraction between AA, that is solute, and BB, that means solvent and solvent. Whereas in case of the second type, the force of attraction between A and B, that is solute and the solvent, should be greater than the force of attraction between AA and BB, that means solute, and solvent. Clear? So these are the four important differences between the two types of non-ideal solution. Now let us continue the further things in the upcoming videos. Thank you.